Mainly, kind of the things I just wanted to cover is we still are committed to this. Because the commitment that had started back in April, we still move forward with other decisions. Apprentices, 5 apprentices received hire letters in the middle of May that they were going to be hired, as well as artists were put under contract. And in fact, the apprentices began their orientation last Thursday and Friday. Part of that's that financial training and the resume development and things like that. So they started the orientation last week. We've obviously put this project back a week or so, but with hopes that we can still work together and make this a reality. And one of the apprentices that was hired is Evelyn Meyer, who's a recent high school graduate from Dayton High School, so a resident here that's employed. This is her first time with Artwork, so we're really happy to have. It's a real mission of ours that we employ youth that are from the community to be a part, because they can inform and be a part of the creation of what we hope to be a transformative celebration and project. Another thing I just want to let you know is I met with our business development manager. We do appreciate the commitment that was made and that we received, and we still hope to build upon that. And I have reallocated funds. We're really thankful for the support we have. And so we have funds and grants from other partners that we have put toward this so we can make this project a reality. Toyota, P&G, PNC Bank. We have an Adopt an Apprentice campaign that allows individuals to support our apprentices in the mission to hire youth to transform our region. We've exceeded that goal, I'm happy to say, and so we're able to help you meet the budget so that doesn't have to be a concern. And really, you know, we love the project that we initially looked at with Tammy, and that was a beautiful wall, but I think that sometimes fate kind of leads in a different direction, and I think the new wall that is an opportunity to look at. I think, you know, we really want to help regions with their redevelopment and continuous improvement efforts, and knowing that this wall and this building, the desire is to have this Dayton History Museum. We just think that this is another way that we can make a landmarker and celebrate the history and also the moving forward direction that you're looking for the community. So it just seems even more and more to us like it's a perfect, now we found a new direction, and hopefully can make this a perfect partnership and have a great outcome for you. So I just want you to know that we at Artworks are committed to making this a reality and to making it successful for you, and we appreciate you having us here today so we can continue this together. Thank you. Now I'll have Patty come up.
Ahead a little bit. So this was the previous wall that Teresa was talking about, and then this is the new wall. So my name is Patty Lee, and I'm a public art manager at Artworks, and I am the public art manager tasked with managing this project as we move forward. And I'm just here today to introduce Joe Hedges, the artist who worked on these new designs for this wall at 718 6th Street, or 6th Avenue. Joe is a Cincinnati-based visual and performing artist, and he has a BFA from Northern Kentucky University, and he just finished his MFA from UC's DAP program. Joe has this great appreciation for history, so this was really a perfect project for him. He loves combining art history and the past, and he likes to, put a little bit of a contemporary fun twist on these. Joe has actually worked with Artworks as a teaching artist. He worked on the Bellevue mural as a teaching artist as well last year. So I'd like to introduce Joe to present his designs. I'm not going to click ahead. That's it. So, Joe Hedges.
Hi, thanks for having us. Thanks for carving out another evening for this. I see you guys have kind of already checked out some of the designs, so maybe there's not going to be a big Dana White moment, maybe for the rest of you. I guess I don't really have much else to say besides thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for the opportunity to try this again and come up with some new designs. I've been working with Charlie Tharp to try and rate the existing content that's in the museum. We found some great photos together that I think are really representative of where the city's been. And hopefully if we can do them in a colorful and fun way, then they'll also be kind of a good landmark and a fun promotion for the town. So without further ado, this is the first design This is from a photograph in around 1910 of some of the Bellevue and Dayton Ice Company. So, oh, sorry, right. Thanks. So, I think this image really stood out to me, mostly because of the attitude of these men. I think, you know, we don't know them, we don't know who they are, but they're strong individuals. They're middle class, and I think that there's something about this picture that even though it's from the past, it's still kind of a universal moment of people taking pride in their work, in their tools, and I think that relates to what we're going to be doing, hopefully, with the wall and with these apprentices. So the original photo is black and white, and I've simply colorized it and changed the landscape a little bit so that we still get a piece of the river in the background. So I'm not sure where the best way to put these.
I think what you did with the windows were fantastic.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh.
They just blend in, you don't even notice that they're there.
Thanks. Yeah, so that was a challenge on the last wall for sure. A little bit less of a challenge on this one. So that's one kind of strategy. Okay, for the second design. Sorry. Okay, the second design is from another photograph of the John Hastings Ferry. So, and this was a ship that in 1853 would take people from here in Dayton to Cincinnati. So it's one of the very first ferries on the river. And this image was actually from a centennial postcard around 1949, I think. So I know this is one of Charlie's favorite images, and I think it does evoke kind of a nostalgia and a connection to the river, which I know is important to the community. So, and again, the original photo is black and white, so this is just simply kind of trying to think about color and trying to make it a little more jubilant and expressive. And I think this one would be especially fun for the apprentices to paint as well, because there will be a lot of kind of impressionistic brush work, and it would be a little looser. So. And finally, this is probably the most challenging image, considering the history of the beaches here in Dayton and Bellevue. And this, to me, I really didn't know much about this history until last summer as I was working on the Bellevue mural, and I saw some of those old photos in the ice cream shop there. And so I Googled that and really started to get into that. And I think a lot of people in Cincinnati have no idea about this, and maybe even people that live in this community, that there were these beautiful white sand beaches right here on the river, and Dayton, Kentucky was a place that people would come on the weekends from Cincinnati. So I think this image is kind of special because that's sort of what we're trying to do, make Dayton a place where people are going to come and people are going to, you know, have fun, spend their money, whatever. So this is just an image from an old photograph that was turned into a postcard, and that was then kind of colorized. So, and this is kind of, the perspective is sort of flipped from where the river is, so that's kind of challenging from a design standpoint. So I'm planning on putting Cincinnati in the background to sort of solidify that, or sell that idea that you're looking on the Kentucky side toward Cincinnati. So that's it for the designs. I appreciate your consideration, and we're optimistic and really excited to get started. Thanks.
Can I ask a question? Were you originally involved in this, or was that someone else?
For the first round of designs, yeah, that was my
He's afraid
alter
to.
ego.
Those are pretty horrible.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
No offense, but it had nothing to do with anything we were thinking about. And this is just my thoughts. The building here, to me, it doesn't seem like a safe place to have a mural where the turn is.
Okay.
My thought would be, why couldn't you incorporate that on the original building, something that big? It's much bigger than what you guys showed us in the beginning. They look like postage stamps, quite honestly. Can someone answer that question?
Sure.
That's a good answer.
What I wanted to close by saying was we hope that we address all of the concerns understood that there were concerns about how much of the mural design covered the original building, and it didn't plan to cover the full scale of the building. So we worked to find another site where we could apply the budget that we had to cover the building. We didn't have a scaffolding bid that would cover that full initial building, so it would be much more expensive to paint a mural around all of the windows. Our budget just didn't support that
Okay, but
project.
did you not know the building was gonna be that size, or?
What was
That extreme,
proposed
what?
to
Explain
us,
to me. I'm
what was
just-
proposed to us originally was the blank spot of the wall, not the entire wall.
that
So it was
wasn't
never,
necessarily your problem.
it was never our understanding that the entire wall would be painted.
So we hope with the second site that, because the mural really goes from top to bottom and side to side, that it's much more impactful. The mural really is what you think of when you think of a mural, that it covers the entire surface. So we hope that by finding an alternative site, you see that impact. And then, of course, the artist Joe worked on 3 brand new designs and spent a lot of time with Charlie to make sure that they were historical, and hopefully those designs really resonate with you and are more a fit for what you're looking for.
Your question, Jerry, is it, when you say you're concerned about the building, that it's a good place, is it because
The turn, people not paying attention to the road, and you have to make a turn to go around that area, that's something we've all talked about.
okay.
And, my question again is, if you took the same square footage and put it on the bottom of Tina's, what would that look like?
Well, with respect to the designs, I don't know that that's a real possibility, since I had considered the placement of all the windows and would have to reconsider the placement of those windows since they were so drastically different. And with respect to the 3 previous designs, I would just ask that we stay focused on these now since we've kind of moved forward and chosen a different one.
And I respect you, I don't think they're horrible. And I'm not an artsy type of person. You have to just expand your horizon, but there were some really cool things I saw in those 3 you did.
Thanks.
And I appreciate the work you put into those.
Thanks. And I think, for artists, obviously, it's way different of a process than on city council, where it's almost the opposite process. I mean, we, as an artist, kind of push things as far as they can go, and then kind of reel them back and see, what we get away with. I should speak for myself. That's kind of part of my creative process. So I understand.
But this is what we were thinking about originally.
Well, great.
What you've done right here is what we talked about, but we never got that. We got something that had nothing to do with Dayton.
We did-
And we have a different interpretation.
We just got a real modern look.
We got a modern
Yeah,
look
which
for
was-
an
which
old
blew everybody away.
Rivertown system.
And so we hope you like the design you're seeing.
Right.
Yeah, they're great.
Okay.
Like I said on the first one, I mean, all the murals that you're presenting look really good. The windows look out of place on 2 out of 3 of them. I just think that the one with the ice bin.
And they can be, the frames can be painted somewhat to match,
Yeah.
the bars can be painted
Yeah,
to
but I
sort
mean,
of
it-
to
I mean,
match
it just-
color.
Yeah.
It works there.
Yeah, just a mural, that's big blend right in.
I like all the color in the ice mat. I think it just brings a lot more color. I could say I like the ice mat, but I just don't like all managing in it. There are a lot of working women in this community.
Let me say this about the art. I don't know whether you're gonna take those and file them away in a closet someplace, but boy, we'd sure love to have them because they are spectacular.
Thanks.
You did a wonderful job.
I guess it boils down to, does anybody have any concerns still? I mean, do we want to talk about this? Are you still set of not doing it? Do you want to do it?
My problem is we shouldn't vote on something, and then a lot of times in business, you won't get a second chance. You're getting a second chance. And it makes us, we sit and talk about, we didn't like it, we all agreed, most of us
No,
agreed.
no, we all didn't.
Most of us agreed, thank you,
Okay, most.
okay? The majority, which is usually what wins, in my world anyway. But if we would have seen this to begin with, and the thought process had been different, it probably would have been a different thought pattern. But right now, it's like, I don't know, we voted it down, and it's like, okay, so let's just we're gonna vote on